Ms. Hedgepeth said, she was looking for legal counsel for months and she couldn't find a lawyer to take her case because they were all afraid. And of course, who ultimately took her case? My attorney colleagues at Judicial Watch. Judicial Watch stepped up. We're involved, and I think it's fair to say, we're the most important group in Washington, D.C. in terms of policing what the government's up to, getting information out to the American people, holding the government to account. But we also help everyday Americans in our work. And I told you, you already know, or you may know about the case we filed, a federal civil rights case on behalf of a coach up in Massachusetts, a football coach who was fired after he objected to critical race theory and Black Lives Matter propaganda in his daughter's ancient history class. And he gets fired as football coach. His daughter's in a different school, goes to seventh grade, and he's exercising his rights as a parent and citizen. And he gets fired in retaliation after exercising his First Amendment rights to speak and to petition your government, or his government in this case. Remember, the First Amendment is more than just about political speech. It's about the right to petition your government, meaning ask questions, right? And demand accountability. And he was fired. So we're honored to represent him. We're also suing, we just filed a new lawsuit on behalf of a teacher in Illinois who was fired after she posted, I think she was on vacation. She posted some Facebook posts critical of the violent riots that were going on at the time in Chicago, statement supportive of the Second Amendment, and other things that you're not allowed to think or have an opinion about in the world controlled by the left. And her school district fired her for it. So we filed a civil rights lawsuit in the Northern District of Illinois for Jean Hedgepeth, who was fired by a suburban Chicago school district. It's a school district, I think it's within Cook County, for criticizing the riots, violence, and shootings in the aftermath of the killing of George Floyd. So she made the post on her personal Facebook page while vacationing after the end of the school year, just as much as some of the most severe violence was breaking out. She also promoted and recommended studying Tom Sowell, who is one of my favorite public intellectuals, Black American. And she described him as a treasure and a truth seeker, and that's true. And she also praised political commentator and activist Candace Owens, who I think the world of, and who is always viciously attacked because she's a Black conservative. Not only is she a Black conservative, but she tells the truth and effectively in a way that few others can match. And longtime talk show host, and he's now a candidate, Larry Elder, who's another Black conservative. And this lawsuit that we filed for her has been filed under, it's what's really the law is the Ku Klux Klan Act that prevents government officials from targeting you for exercising your rights under the law, under the Constitution. And it's a First Amendment related claim. And I'm going to read from the complaint. In late May and early June 2020, Hedgepeth was vacationing in Florida after the end of the 2019-20 school year when violent street protests, rioting, looting, and shootings erupted in Chicago and many other U.S. cities in the aftermath of the killing of George Floyd on May 25th, 2020 by Minneapolis police officers. In Chicago alone, 82 persons were shot, 19 fatally, over the May 30th, 31st, 2020 weekend. On May 31st, 2020, which the Chicago Sun-Times described as the most violent day Chicago has seen in 60 years, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who, by the way, we're also suing for a reporter who was denied access to her based on his race, so that's another civil rights lawsuit, asked Governor J.B. Pritzker to deploy the Illinois National Guard to the city. That same day, Hedgepeth posted the following photos of herself on the beach in Florida, along with the comment, I don't want to, and the photos of her are sitting on the beach with her sunglasses on, having a good time. I don't want to go home tomorrow. Now that the Civil War has begun, I want to move. An individual responded, follow your gut, move. Hedgepeth answered, I need a gun and training. The individual replied, me too. Another individual posted a meme that same day suggesting the riots could be stopped with a septic tank truck and a pressure cannon. Hedgepeth reposted the meme, obviously in jest, adding, you think that would work? So that's the sort of stuff they actually fired her for. On or about June 1st, 2020, she posted the following comment on Facebook in the course of an exchange of posts begun the previous day with the third individual. And this is what she wrote. And I'm going to share it with you because it highlights the outrageousness and the obviousness of what they didn't like about what she was saying. I am about facts, truth-seeking, and love. I will speak on any topic I choose because I live in a free country. I find the term white privilege as racist as the N-word. You have not walked in my shoes either, so do not make assumptions about me and my so-called privilege. You think America is racist, then you've been hoodwinked by the white liberal establishment and race baiters like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. Travel the world and go see that every nation has racism, and some more than others, but few make efforts such as we do to mitigate or eliminate it. I have lived and seen the people I am informed by about the Black experience in America are actually some of the smartest people in America, and it so happens they are Black. I highly recommend studying Thomas Sowell, who's now retired and in his 80s, a treasure, a truth seeker, does real research and analysis. Candace Owens is one of the smartest and most courageous women in America, and Larry Elder speaks the truth about with a great sense of humor and facts. She capitalizes facts, not feelings. They are who I listen to when it comes to facts about the Black experience in America. Don't you think that there is a deeper problem than racism when 50% of murders in America are committed by 13% of the population? Do you think that there might be subtle genocide of Black babies when most Planned Parenthoods are put in poor neighborhoods and that 30% of abortions are Black babies? Black women only make up 7% of the US population. The greatest power you have about what you believe, the greatest power you have about is what you believe about yourself. What have Democrats, mainstream media, intellectuals, and ivory towers been telling the Black community to believe about themselves for 40 years? Wake up and stop believing them, then things will change. All of her posts were on her Facebook page, her personal Facebook page. None of them identified her as a teacher, nor did she post them in her capacity as a teacher. So these political statements that she was making about the Second Amendment, about pro-life, about her agony for the Black community, her praise of Black leaders, her concerns about crime. You may agree or disagree with them, but they're obviously First Amendment obviously statements protected by the First Amendment. They called her in. They said they were investigating. She came back from vacation. They said they were investigating her for her Facebook posts. And she was fired 6 weeks later by a vote of 5-2. You know, when she went in and talked to the initial investigator, she said that this was on my personal Facebook page, and they were made out of school. And she expressly noted she has First Amendment rights to make statements like this. I mean, it wasn't like she was in school saying this. She's on vacation. But they fired her anyway by a vote of 5-2. So at least two people didn't ignore the record before them. And as I said, the school district took what could have been a teachable moment about respecting diversity of viewpoints because the left targeted her over those statements. They figured out, I guess, she was a teacher and went after her. And they had this, and the school district started perusing her social media. Again, teachable moment about respecting diversity of viewpoints, and they turned it into a clear civil rights violation. Jean Hedgepeth has every right to express herself freely and openly on her personal Facebook page outside of school about matters of undeniable public concern. Firing her for opposing lawlessness, speaking out about gun rights, praising Black conservatives, and criticizing Democrats and tenets of critical race theory violated the First Amendment, and the school district and district officials who did so will be held accountable. And we have a counsel out there that we're working with, Christine Svensson, who's worked with us on other cases out there. She's just a great attorney, very, very, very reliable colleague on matters such as these. And I hope that, Christine and Ms. Hedgepeth were on Laura Ingraham this week, and I hope you were able to catch it. And I don't know if we have a link to it available or not, but I think there's a story about it. And they did a great job, as you might imagine, talking about the case. But my favorite part of it was, and I think this might be your favorite part, is that Ms. Hedgepeth said, she was looking for legal counsel for months, and she couldn't find a lawyer to take her case because they were all afraid. And of course, who ultimately took her case? My attorney colleagues at Judicial Watch. Judicial Watch stepped up. And I'm so pleased we were able to do that. And as those of you who support Judicial Watch, you should be pleased and give yourself a pat on the back. This is how your support helps everyday Americans who are being victimized by the left. It's not just our children, it's our teachers, it's folks in our military, it's people working in corporations, it's employees of the government generally, who are being targeted with this propaganda, and as importantly, being punished if they don't want to play ball with it. And in the case of Ms. Hedgepeth, just talking about politics in the general sense can get her fired. It's not appropriate, it's wrong, it's illegal, and that's why we're in court. And we just filed the lawsuit, so it takes time to get through the court process, but we're going to keep on pushing.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.